Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. All praises and glory goes to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and citations unto the elect men feeding the sheep of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Sincerity and truth with this great gospel coming out of our Bible strictly for the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which are the Israelites, which is you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and the scattered sheep throughout the four corners of the earth looking like the other nations. Right, and the beautiful thing is we're living in what biblical times. We always been living in biblical times, right? People always trying to compare the biblical times to what major events that happen on earth. Oh, this is the Bible always spoke about, man. We always been living in biblical times. The 90s was biblical times, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, right? 1800s, the 1700s, all the time is biblical time. Right, because this book is a history book. Right, inside this book, what is written? Let's get this. This is the book of Ezekiel 2 and 10. And it reads, and he spread it before me, and it was written within and without. And there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe. What is this talking about? The scriptures. Right? The scriptures, when you go into the scriptures, right, it's about a lot of lamentation. A lot of mourning, a lot of woe, a lot of destruction, right? And one of the events, let's read this. This is the book of Luke 21, verse 25. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, right? It says what? Right, it says, and upon the earth distress of nations, right? The signs in the heavens, right? The signs in the sun and in the moon connect with what? Distress of nations. I'll read it again. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. And you just had what? A total lunar eclipse. Right? You just had this red moon situation happen with March 3rd, right? And what else you have going on at the same time? You have America going to war with Iran, right? Around this blood moon, you have America going to war with damn near everybody, right? That's the spirit of Nero right now, right? War was on his mind, right? The words in his mouth were smoother than butter, but what war was in his heart. That's what they were created for, the wicked. They were created to be what a punishment to the other nations, a sword on the earth, right? And with these blood moons, what comes major events, right? Comes major events. It says total lunar eclipse. Transform the sky with stunning blood, right? With stunning blood moon, right? That's what you got going on, right? It says, let's read about this blood moon right quick. It says, people around the world saw the moon transform into a striking blood moon on Tuesday, March 3rd. 2026 during a total lunar eclipse, right? It says the March full moon is called the worm moon because it coincides with the time of the year when the ground softens and the earthworms and the beetles emerge, right? The eclipse marked the last blood moon to be seen in North America until what, 2028. Right? We gotta look, we already know what biblically the red moon signifies, right? Let's see, it says a red moon or blood moon symbol signifies intense transformation, okay? Emotional heal, unravel, and profound change, right? Right, that's what it symbolizes. It says a red moon, a red moon symbol signifies intense transformation, right? Emotional upheaval and profound change occurring during a total lunar eclipse when the earth passes between the sun and the moon, historically reviewed as a omen, right? As an omen. It is now commonly associated with what? Spiritual awakening, closing old chapters, and a reset for personal energy. right? The main thing we're going to look at viewed as an omen, right? It's the distress upon the nations, right? The spirit of war on the earth, right? It says transformation, a new beginning, often seen as a powerful or high energy time to end old phases and embrace new beginnings. What they trying to set up? A new world order, right? We in the time they trying to set up a new world order, right? It says spiritual awakening and intensity, right? A time when the will between physical and spiritual realms is what? Thin, prompting introspection and a shadow work, right? It's a lot of Jakes waking up to who they are as the Israelites, right? We having more blood wounds now more than ever. It's a lot of Jakes waking up to that they're Israelites. And it says, symbol of truth, considered a moment when hidden truths are brought to light. Man, come on, man. You can't make this up. Here we go. 2 Ezra 6, verse 28. It says, as for faith, it shall flourish, right? We're in the times where people are waking up to who they are. They're having more trust and more faith in Yahweh more than ever. Because why? They know the true power. Just like the scripture said, the true power is waiting for what? The true worshipers to worship him, right? In spirit and in truth. It said, as for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome. And the truth, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared. Shall be declared. And right, these are the times that we're living in, right? The signs in the heavens, truth being declared, faith in the world, right? And who Yahweh, not in no Jesus Christos and the false powers of Esau, Edom, right? The Lord said, you're going to know his name in the land of your captivity, right? These people still calling on what? False JC, showing you that shit has no power, no strength whatsoever, right? Let's read that again. It says, transformation, new from beginning, right? It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Right? We about to see a transfer of kingdom because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. Right? It says the kingdom shall be translated from one people to another. What people? From Esau's hands to the hands of who? The children of Israel. Right? It says, often seen as a powerful, high energy time to end old phases and embrace new beginnings, right? Spiritual awakening and intensity, right? A time when the veil between physical and spiritual realms is thin, prompting introspection and shadow work. Symbol of truth, right? Considered a moment when hidden truths are brought to light, right? Was that you are an Israelite? You Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you're Israelites, right? You're waking up back to your heritage. You're waking back to your power, right? It says biblical, sometimes interpreted as a sign, prophecy, right? Repentance, or end times, because we live in what? End times.
On the 28th day of February in the year 2026, columns of fire rise into the sky above Tehran. Air raid sirens echo without pause across bases in Bahrain, Qatar, and major cities throughout the Middle East. The world falls into a tense silence, watching each wave of airstrikes exchanged between the United States, Israel, and Iran. Is this merely another series of military clashes, or is it the sign of greater events long foretold by prophets decades ago?
It's not going to be anyone we were thinking of because they're all dead.
The world falls into a tense silence, watching each wave of airstrikes exchanged between the United States, Israel, and Iran. Is this merely another series of military clashes, or is it the sign of greater events long foretold by prophets decades ago?
It's not going to be anyone we were thinking of because they're all dead.
Even Baba Vanga left behind words about a third world war that would one day unfold. And Nostradamus wrote verses that many interpret as pointing to a great war lasting 7 months beginning this very year. And it does not stop there. Amid the center of this turmoil, our eyes turn toward the sky. On the night of March 3rd, 2026, a rare celestial event will take place, a total lunar eclipse often called a blood moon. For thousands of years, the ancients never regarded such events as random. From prophetic passages in the Bible to the mystical codes preserved in Jewish tradition, the blood moon has long been viewed as a sign, a message from the Most High to humanity at pivotal turning points in history. Many researchers to the mystical codes preserved in Jewish tradition, the blood moon has long been viewed as a sign, a message from the Most High to humanity at pivotal turning points in history.
Right? Yeah, the moon, that blood moon is a sign, right? To man from what the Lord up above. What man he talking to? You Israelites. You Israelites, man. Right? And these other nations, right? They also study what the earth. They notice around certain blood moons, things happen around that time, right? It's not, hey, the moon looks silver and white, and all of a sudden it's turning red. What's going on? Right? Let's read Matthew 16:3 first. It reads, and in the morning it will be foul weather today. Salaki, I'm gonna read it. And in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but ye cannot discern the signs of the time, right? All these signs, right? For you to know what time that you're living in, right? For you to know what times that you're living in. Also for you Israelites to know it's time to return back to your power before the destruction, right? Because blood moons, it's here, let's read. It says blood moon, total lunar eclipse are historically and mythologically associated with catastrophic events, right? Intense fear. In some cultures, the apocalypse. Examples include the panic of the Athenian army in 413 BC, the fall of Constantinople, right? Who was that? That was Jake. In 1453, and who took over? Esau, Edom, right? That was that last ruling kingdom of Jake. And the 1917 disruption of the Arab Revolt, right? All these things was major events, right? Despite these historical associations, there is no scientific evidence. Yeah, Esau's science, falsely called science, right? That these events caused disasters on Earth, right? Athenian put panic. An eclipse occurred as the Athenian army was fighting in Sicily, leading to panic, hesitation, and untimely and disastrous defeat, right? The fall of Constantinople. A lunar eclipse occurred during the final siege of the city, which was interpreted as a sign of its impending fall, right? That's when Esau came to power, right? Arab revolts, panic. During World War I, soldiers panicked at the sight of a blood moon, interpreting it as a bad omen. Let's keep reading. Right? Let's see. Cultural myths. Various cultures viewed the events as an attack on the moon by creatures or demons, leading to rituals meant to scare away the darkness. Right? It says common misconceptions and associations. Right? Biblical prophecy. Blood moon is frequently associated with the prophecies in the book of Joel and Revelation, which describes the moon turning to red before a great and terrible day. Astrological significance. In Hindu astrology, eclipses are viewed as times of disruption, fear, and in some cases, danger to leaders. Danger to leaders? That don't sound good for DJT, right? The Arab leader, he just got killed, right? The leader of Venezuela, he just got kidnapped, right? It's not a good time for leaders. It's not a good time for leaders. I'm reading the book of Genesis 1:14, and the Most High, Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, Yahweh said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide what the day from the night. And let them be for what? For signs. For signs. And for seasons and for days and for years. Right? The main thing is for signs. You got the moon, the sun, for signs, right? And everything points to what? Destruction. A change of rulership. Right? Danger for leaders, right? It just said that was beautiful. This is the book of 2nd Esdras. we're going to read 6. Let's start at verse 7. It says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, and when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand first held the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, right? It says, For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, right? I'm going to read that again. It says, Biblical prophecy, blood moon, is frequently associated with the prophecies in the book of Joel and Revelation, which describes the moon turning to blood before a great and terrible day. Astrological significance. In Hindu astrology, eclipses are viewed as times of disruption, right? A disruption in Esau's rulership. Fear, right? It's a lot of fear on earth. People are losing their jobs. People are losing their lives. People are losing everything, right? In some cases, danger to leaders, right? The danger to leaders, they shall not regard the kings nor their princes, right? That's people are turning on their rulers and their societies because these rulers are puppets, man. They liars and puppets, and they don't give a fuck about the people, right? Scientific reality, right? Astronomers and geologists confirm there is no link between these events and natural disaster, right? Because Esau ain't gonna bring out that truth because Esau is scared, right? Esau know it's the end of his world, the end of his society.
The blood moon has long been viewed as a sign, a message from the Most High to humanity at pivotal turning points in history. Many researchers of ancient traditions believe that when the moon turns a deep crimson during significant feast days of Israel, it represents more than the movement of heavenly bodies. It signals division purification and a spiritual awakening drawing near.
Here's what most survivors...
Right, and we are at the time of the spiritual awakening. Right, Jake is waking up out of that darkness and coming to that light, which is this truth. Which is the truth. The Lord said what? Let's get this verse. It's the book of Isaiah. This is the book of Isaiah 60. Verse 1, it reads, Rise, shine, for the light is come, and the glory of Yahweh is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people, but the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. Right, who's that? Talking about you Israelites. You Israelites. The book of Proverbs 1 and 23 reads, Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit upon you. I will make known my words unto you. Unto who? The children of Israel. Right? Jake is waking up. At the same time, Esau is going down. Right? We're looking at a transition of kingdoms. Right? The Lord is setting up his kingdom right in the midst of these devils, and they don't even know it. They don't even know it. But through the Spirit, they do know, because they know that their time is short. They know that their time is short. And plus, they're studying these signs, right? When I say they don't even know, we got two different classifications of Edomites. You got the elites, the 1%, and you got the other Edomites who don't know what the fuck is going on this earth. Right? And the few of them who think they know what's going on, they don't know what the hell is going on. Right? They don't know they're the Edomites. But the elites know they're Edomites. Right? The elites know we're Israelites. Right? It says, Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you, to the children of Israel. Right? And that's how is the Lord doing it? Through what? The preaching of the gospel. Right? Through the revealing of the scriptures. Through what? The prophets. Right? Because the scripture's always been around. The Bible talks about close up the book until what? The time of the end. Let's get that. It's the book of Daniel 12. Let's start at verse 1. It reads, And at that time shall Michael stand up, that great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation on earth. Right? We're in that time. Right? We're about to go into a time of Jacob's trouble. Right? All this is happening around blood moon events. Right? Major events on the earth. Right? It says, At that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. That's everything revolves around God's chosen people. He ain't standing up for the people of the earth. Negative. Right? It says, And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to the same time. And at that time, thy people shall be what? Be delivered, right? Beautiful times we're living in. Everyone that shall be found written in the book. That's talking about the elect. Right? The election have obtained it, the rest were blinded. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake. Some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. Right? That's why, you can't afford to fall out this truth. You can't afford to fall out this truth. You done put in all this work to fight for the Lord, and guess what? You done fell out to receive no reward. You done fucked up. Right? It says, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words, and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. What it says, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Right? That's how we know Esau is the end of the world. Right? You had Abu Gibbons come back, and he broke down the scriptures, starting with the elders, the prophets, before the elders and the apostles. They breaking down the scriptures, right? And it then came to what the men you see right now. You see the men you see right now preaching the gospel, which is what really the men of Great Millstone, the other brothers who believe the same. And we ain't talking about none of you hoe ass niggas who faking the funk, right? It says, but thou, Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the times of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. I'm going to read the book of Revelation 1:1. It says, the revelation of Yahushua Mashiach, which the Most High gave to him to show unto his servants the things which must shortly come to pass. Right? The Lord said that he will do nothing, but he reveal his secrets into what his servants, the prophets, right? And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John, who bear record of the word of the Most High and of the testimony of Yahushua Mashiach, and all the things that he saw. It says, blessed, right? Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of the prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. Right? Blessed is he that readeth. There's a lot of people reading the Bible. Right? It's a lot of people reading the Bible. You got military people in the military, they definitely reading the Bible right about now. Right? Because these events is about to affect their existence on Earth. Right? It says, update. U.S. commanders across more than 30 military bases told troops the Iran war is part of Yahweh's plan, God's plan, and linked it to Armageddon. Armageddon, right? A commander said Trump was anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon, with some calling it the Holy War. The Military Religious Freedom Foundation says it has received over 110 similar complaints describing the war as biblically sanctioned, and a sign of the Christian end times. Yeah, the end times, baby. It says fans say Trump's moving like he's from Chirac in 2026, kidnapping Venezuela's leader, right? Helping kill El Mencho and taking out back-to-back Iranian leaders. Fans say Trump, yeah, nigga, he on one right now. Trump on one, right? His heart shall be lifted, right? Pride goes before destruction, right? It says Trump, in the news article, Trump won't rule out sending U.S. troops into Iran if necessary, tells the post-war, if progressing way ahead of schedule. It is Slocky. Tells the post-war is progressing way ahead of schedule. And the Iranians said, man, fuck that. They ain't giving up. Fuck a peace treaty. They want war. Right? And you got breaking news. Kim Jong-un. If Iran asks, we will provide it with missiles against Israel. Right? One missile is enough to what? Erase it. Erase it. It's the book of Matthew 24, verse 3, that reads, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And that's the conversation on earth right now, the end of the world. Right? Esau's world. Because what? The earth is about to abide forever. Esau, you're about to go You're about to fall as a people. Your heaven is about to be dissolved and destroyed. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am a Mashiach, and shall deceive many. Right? We had that fake-ass Edomite Christian spirit on the earth. And ye shall hear of wars. Yeah, that's what we got now. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but what the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Why? Because you got to deal with the RFID chip. You still got that one prophecy to come to pass. Right before Esau gets destroyed and Israel takes over the kingdom. Shalom.